Hi, I'm Shan, and this is Life with Shan. Today is going to be a little bit of a vlog of my trip to North Carolina. I went in early October. I was originally supposed to go at the end of September, but then Hurricane Ian came down and hit us in Tampa. So unfortunately, my flights were canceled. It just wasn't going to work out for me to make my way to North Carolina that weekend. I did go the following weekend, the first weekend in October. I met up with my friend Riley, who is at Paint the Town Red here on Booktube and Bookstagram, and I stayed at Riley's place with her. And the reason I went to North Carolina was to not only hang out with Riley, but to go to the grand opening of Mill and Meadow, which is owned by Elise Brienne Design. They do stationery, artwork, and a ton of different things. I initially found this small business through Instagram and then through a wholesale website that I use to add products to my shop, Grace by Shan. So I connected with Elise's company through there, and then as a few years went by and she announced the grand opening of her first storefront, Mill and Meadow, in Durham, North Carolina, Riley and I texted back and forth about it because Riley also knows about Elise, and we were like, wait a minute, this is 20 minutes from where you live. So we planned to go to the grand opening, and it was so much fun. But before we get to the grand opening, we're going to start on Friday. On Friday when I arrived, Riley picked me up from the airport. I was tired and Riley was tired, so we did go to a coffee shop. I read a little bit, did some work for Grace by Shan while she did some of her work, and then work for Grace by Shan as well. Then we went back to her place, and then after that we went book shopping. Our first book shop was Quail Ridge Books, and that was my first time vlogging anything because when I got there to Raleigh, North Carolina, Riley told me about how she wants to start a booktube. So I was intrigued and I wanted to try it. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go all in, but I didn't want to miss out on taking content. So I did take a few videos throughout the weekend. So back to our Friday night adventures, we went to Quail Ridge Books. Stephen King. Hi. I got Babel, which has been on my list for a little while now, but it's been a bit pricey, but I prefer to support independent bookstores than Amazon and Target, and I'm very excited to dive in to this 500 plus page book and take it on my carry-on back to Florida. As you saw at Quail Ridge Books, I did get my copy of Babel, which I still love and adore. I'm 200 pages in, I have 300 or so left. I'm very excited. It is very mind-consuming, so I'm taking my time with this one, but I am really enjoying it, so I might also pick up R.F. Kuang's other series, the Poppy War series, which I've heard a lot of great things of. Quail Ridge Books, we went and we got ice cream, and we also went to a vegan restaurant. I am vegetarian, so Riley treated me to an all-vegan place where I have not eaten at many all-vegan places, if ever, so it was very different to be able to eat everything off of the whole menu. Usually I can only pick from a few things, so it took me a little while to decide what to eat, but I had a great time there. It was a lot of fun, and then they showed me through downtown Raleigh, and we did some art exhibits, and it was really nice. It's a nice community, a nice downtown district, and it was a little chilly for me being from Florida, but I enjoyed it a lot. Saturday morning, we woke up kind of early for us on a Saturday at least, and we headed to Elise Brienne Design's store opening of Mill and Meadow, but on the way we had to get coffee, so we got coffee, and then once we got to Mill and Meadow, we got there about an hour before the grand opening because we wanted to make sure we were one of the first few people in because one, it's a grand opening, and two, because she was doing gift bags. And in the gift bags, I got the shirt and a few other things. But on top of that, we got to meet Elise in person, which was really fun. And then we got a ton of different things. I got a planner, Riley got a planner, I got stickers, pens, zipper pouches, and then I got this journal. I love the design on it and how it almost looks 3D. And I've had this journal for almost 2 months now, and I didn't know what to do with it, so I decided to make it my book journal, which I'll do a whole behind the scenes of in a different video. But yeah, so I got this from Elise's shop as well. And then after the grand opening and hanging out there for a while and then talking to Elise a little bit, we went to another bookstore. And Riley and I then walked to Letters Bookshop, which wasn't far from Elise's. And there I got She Said.
She Said is nonfiction. It's about breaking the sexual harassment story that helped ignite a movement. And this is also now a movie. It came out on November 18th, so I'm excited to read this before I watch the movie. The bookshop was 2 floors. They're opening a coffee shop on the top. It was a dream come true. They had great deals. This book was $8. I saw a lot of other popular books that were discounted, and I believe they had a used book section, which always makes for a great deal. After Letters Bookshop, Riley took me to Golden Fig Books, which was really cool. It's a cute little shop, and I loved the logo with the fig in it. And then they also had great deals, and they're connected to a really cute restaurant, which had an outdoor area that felt like you were almost at Disney and you were in a different theme of the park. And that would just make for a really nice date. You go get lunch or dinner, and then you walk over to the bookstore. At the bookstore, I got Last Night at the Telegraph Club, which I'll read you the synopsis. Lily Who can't remember exactly when the question took root, but the answer was clear the moment she and Kath Miller walked under the neon sign of a lesbian bar called the Telegraph Club. America in 1954 is not a safe place for 2 girls to fall in love. Red Scare paranoia threatens everyone, including Chinese Americans like Lily. With deportation looming over her father, Lily and Kath risk everything for love. And this book is very popular. It's gotten a lot of awards, as you can see from the cover, and it was only $12 at Golden Fig Books, so I picked it up because it was a good deal and you supported a local independent bookstore. So this was a lot of fun. At this point, we were midway through Saturday, and I had already purchased 3 books. And Riley had a ton of bookstores planned for us to go to, which I love. I love that Riley and I are on the same page. However, at Golden Figs, I was like, how many more bookstores are we going to? Because I needed to prepare to see how much I could spend or even fit into my carry-on. After Golden Fig Books, we then went to Epilogue Books, which was near UNC's campus in Chapel Hill, and this place was so cool. They had 2 separate rooms, and the first room had the coffee shop and all the new releases. It was packed. Everyone was there, dining, hanging out, reading, or studying. And then the second room was a quiet room. So it was almost 2 different vibes, and I liked that that bookstore, Epilogue Books, offered both. I almost bought a book, but I ended up not buying one because so much money on books. But I did get a frozen chocolate, and I got peanut butter and caramel syrup on it. So that was very yummy. And then Riley and I hung out and read there for a little while.
Hi, hello. Just checking in. We went to this bookstore. It's called Epilogue, and I bought a book. We got coffee, and now we're headed home. Yay!
After Epilogue Books, we went back to Riley's, where I then napped, as I usually do on vacation, unfortunately. Then we went out, we went to a Mediterranean restaurant, then we got smoothies, and then we went back to Quail Ridge Books, where I ended up getting another book. I got Celeste Ng's Our Missing Hearts, and I got the signed copy. I told myself I could get this because I was supporting an independent bookstore and it was signed, and I was very excited for the signed copy of this book. I've read Celeste Ng's 2 other books, Little Fires Everywhere and Everything I Never Told You, and I loved them. I'm very excited to read Our Missing Hearts, and that I have a signed copy of it. Our Missing Hearts is about 12-year-old Bird Gardner lives a quiet existence with his loving but broken father, a former linguist who now shelves books in a university library. Bird knows to not ask too many questions, stand out too much, or stray too far. For a decade, their lives have been governed by laws written to preserve American culture in the wake of years of economic instability and violence. To keep the peace and restore prosperity, the authorities are not allowed to relocate children of descendants, especially those of Asian origin, and libraries have been forced to remove books seen as unpatriotic, including the work of Bird's mother, Margaret, a Chinese-American poet who left the family when he was 9 years old. Bird has grown up disavowing his mother and her poems. He doesn't know her work or what happened to her, and he knows he shouldn't wonder. But when he receives a mysterious letter containing only a cryptic drawing, he is pulled into a quest to find her. His journey will take him back to the many folktales she poured into his head as a child, through the ranks of an underground network of librarians, into the lives of the children who have been taken, and finally to New York City, where a new act of defiance may be the beginning of much-needed change. And yeah, Celestine always provides heart-wrenching, eye-opening stories, and I'm excited to dive into our missing hearts. That's pretty much it for Saturday night. We finished up the night at Quail Ridge Books, and then on Sunday we woke up early. Riley showed me a lake by her place. I ran the loop around the lake, which I think was about 6 miles. It was beautiful weather that morning, and then I showered and we went to a farmer's market, which was a huge farmer's market in Raleigh. It was so big, it was so fun. They had everything, and Riley said they're open every single day of the week, which is insane to me, but I think that's very cool, and I love how Raleigh is so into the community aspect of everything. After the farmer's market, we got lunch there, and then we went to a park and we picnicked and read for a while. So here's some footage of that.
We are reading at a park. I haven't gotten my book out yet.
I will probably nap, as usual.
But yeah, the view is really pretty. I can't show you any other way than go like this currently. But it's really pretty, so I'm gonna go read.
And then that was about it. My visit was over. Riley drove me back to the airport, and I had another memorable time with Riley, which is at Paint the Town Red. Thank you for following along while I went book hopping all around North Carolina. And thank you to Riley for the booktube inspiration and for being a great friend. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Life with Shan, and that you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.